What's up, everybody? It's Jenny. I am back with project shares today, and I have a couple of different techniques that I've been trying out. So let me just share it with you. As you know, I'm really into the watercolor look, and I was playing around with my Zig Clean Color Real Brush pens again. So earlier I showed you that I had already pre-stamped and embossed a bunch of sentiments onto watercolor cardstock, and instead of just going over it with just regular colors that you've seen me do before. Let me see if I have a couple. I have a couple I can show you. Like I did a whole rainbow set like this, right? Oh, sorry, like that. Well, instead of just doing that, I wanted to kind of do something different. And so this one, I started off by using, I think I had a green pen first, the really light green, and I made a circle, and then I just kept coloring around the circle and kind of blending it and using, if it was a harsh line, I would get my water brush and kind of move the color around. I think what I did was I actually wet it first with my water brush so that um, the color wouldn't be so sharp when you apply it. And I kind of like how it came out. And then like again, and whenever it was like a sharper line and I wanted it more smoothed out, I would just get my water brush and go over that area. And I kind of went in a circular motion to so that it wouldn't blend over with the other colors. So after it dried, I just added some sequins, and then I mounted it on this light blue cardstock that I got from Paper Tray Ink. So this one is old Mama Elephant sentiment, and this is the same set. So this one is Happy Birthday to You, and this one is Go On and Celebrate. So I figure you can use both of them as like birthday cards. Okay, so this one, what I tried to do was make it more heart shaped because I like hearts. So I started with a really, really light blue here. Then I went into, I tried to make it more of an ombre look and go into like a teal, and then I ended up with a darker blue. So same thing, after I finished, I let it dry, and then I got sequins and I just added that and I mounted it on the same light blue colored cardstock. Okay, so that was that, just playing around with coloring in different shapes. And then after I did that, then I wanted to try a technique. I think it's called bokeh. I think that's how my husband told me that you say it. I thought when I read it, I thought it said bokeh, but I guess it's not. It's bokeh, and I guess it's very popular nowadays. And they use like filters, like camera filters, and then they do like a lot of circles and it's blurry over the image. And anyway, so look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. But I was playing around using this stamp set from W plus 9, and the reason why I bought this set is mainly for the smaller images, the solid images, so that you can do that bokeh effect. So I ended up using these two stars and I think the fat hearts, these two hearts, and the two circles for the three cards that I made. So this one is using that same happy birthday sentiment, and I just kind of laid the color like wherever, I don't know, kind of like a color blocking look. And then I got this, for this one I got the round solid stamps here, and I got my Paper Tray Ink Fresh Snow hybrid ink pad, which is basically like a white. It's kind of like a pigment, and I just stamped a whole bunch of them. It's kind of hard to see because the background is so pastel, but I think you get the gist of what I did to create that bokeh look. And then I just added in some colored sequins. And this one I mounted on like a pink cardstock. Okay, so the next one I did was well, I don't know if I did it in this order, but I did this one, which I used another set. It's a W+9 set, and it says, "I thank my lucky stars that you're my friend." So I stamped and embossed that and this shooting star, and then I just kind of again wet my cardstock, laid the color down where I wanted it, and this one is more like a dark blue, and then this is more like a purple kind of color. And then after I did that and I dried it, then I went over it with the star stamp from the set, star stamp, solid stamp. And I tried to match the star, so I chose the one that was more pointy. And I just started stamping with the fresh snow ink. I'm not sure if I like this one as much. I guess the stars are a little busy, but what I did was I felt like sometimes the way it's stamped, it was only showing like the outline of the stamp, and I felt like it was a little too harsh, the line. So I got my watercolor brush, the pen, and I went over it to kind of soften the stars. And I think that's a good way of doing it if you stamp and it's a little too bright. I think what they try to tell you to do is like second generation stamping, where you stamp off of the page first and then you stamp on it. But sometimes I wanted the stamped image to be a little bit brighter. So anyway, so that's what I came up with. And I just added on a few pieces of sequins. Okay, and then the last card I did is that same technique. This one I had already pre-stamped the thank you, which is I think W+9 thank you set. And then I just added on a bunch of different blues. I wet the cardstock and then I added on a bunch of different blues and I tried to blend them in with my water brush. And then for this one I used the heart stamp, and I think I like that one the best. And I just used that same white pigment ink and I just stamped. And the idea is you kind of want to stamp like over and do second generation stamping too. So I think out of all of them, this is my favorite card, and I guess I'm kind of partial to hearts, and maybe that's the reason why I like this one the best. But it is my favorite, so I think I'm gonna probably make more of something like this in the future, just to have on hand. Maybe not thank you. Maybe I'll do some in the what you call it, happy birthday sentiment. The other thing, I guess, if you really wanted to stand out better, this is actually kind of a darker blue mix, and I found that I like the results better versus doing it on a pastel background. See, I mean, you can see it, but it's not as noticeable. So I don't know if people will actually understand what I was trying to do if you go too light. So if you want this effect to look better, I would try and choose a little bit darker backgrounds. I'm guessing you can do it with other inks. Like I use my Zig, which is more like a watercolor, water-based marker. I'm guessing you can also do it with like distress inks. I wouldn't go so far as to use pigment inks in your background, but I think if you would go over and make like a whole distress ink background, and you could easily do it with the stamps. The other way that I've seen people do this effect is with a stencil, and I was tired. It was kind of late at night and I just wanted to give it a try. So I haven't actually done it with a stencil before, but I hear that the results are nice as well. So I am probably going to try and do that at some point. Maybe make my own stencil. You can do it out of like acetate or other like old packaging and stuff like that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my project share. Wanted to just show you that I have been working on stuff. It's not just that I'm buying. But anyway, if you have any questions, leave me the question down below and I will try to answer it. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.